Mercedes has just revealed new information about the W15, a little less than a week before the official release of the car on the 14th of February. Not only that, but the team recently also put Lewis Hamilton on track with last year's W14 as part of a tyre test with Pirelli. In this video, we will cover all the news regarding Mercedes and what the team has been up to after the shock of Hamilton's move to Ferrari in 2025. Mercedes and Aston Martin are participating in a tyre test for Formula One's tyre supplier Pirelli at the Jerez circuit in Spain. Mercedes nominated Hamilton to complete the first round of testing while Fernando Alonso drove Aston Martin's car. The two multiple-time world champions completed more than 100 laps each, with Hamilton going 126 laps and Alonso completing 156 laps. Mercedes and Aston Martin are also set to put George Russell and Lance Stroll in their cars for the next day of tyre testing at the same track. Mercedes and Aston are following Ferrari, who completed their laps of testing last week. Although the lap times are not of much actual value, apart from helping Pirelli understand the way their Jerez behave under certain conditions, they have also been reported by an F1 journalist. Both drivers were extremely close, with Alonso's best time being 1 minute and 18.752 seconds, whereas Hamilton clocked in at 1 minute and 18.936 seconds. These lap times are not indicative of the driver's performance, but would definitely be a dreadful time for Hamilton, who had to step back inside the W14. The W14 is only the second car after the W13 in which the British driver did not win a single race after his period of dominance in the sport from 2014 to 2021. The seven-time world champion went winless in 2022 and 2023 as the Silver Arrows fell behind the dominant Red Bulls. During the 2023 season, Hamilton called the car undrivable and constantly complained about its unpredictability on track. The response the team got from both drivers in 2023 led to the team changing its direction entirely in 2024, with a car they believe is much more suited to the track than its predecessors. Earlier, Toto Wolff revealed that Mercedes has decided to change their car in 2024 completely and is heading in a completely different direction from their 2022 and 2023 cars. They've built the new Challenger from the ground up, which will share only a couple of parts with the car from last year. "We are changing the concept," said Wolff. "We are completely moving away from how we laid out the chassis, the weight distribution, the airflow. I mean, literally, there's almost every component that's being changed because only by doing that, I think we have a chance. We could get it wrong also. So, between not gaining what we expect, catching up and making a big step, and competing in the front, everything is possible." And now, finally, it appears Mercedes has also started to take the drivers' opinions into consideration again. In 2023, Lewis Hamilton complained that the team had not listened to his inputs while designing the W14, which sparked a massive debate about whether Hamilton was even valued on the team. This year, however, Hamilton requested the team to change the cockpit position, which has been reportedly done by the team, along with managing to make the gearbox lighter and improve the aerodynamics of the car. The team has ditched its zero-pod design and is hoping the W15 is able to put them back at the front of the pack. A significant issue with last year's car was the rear end, which both George Russell and Lewis Hamilton complained about. They said the car was difficult to control and hence, while driving, they were forced to take corners at a slower speed to avoid losing the back end. Hamilton complained on team radio multiple times about the car's behavior, and in fact, Toto Wolff had to come out and tell him himself that he knows how bad the car is. According to the team's technical director, James Allison, the team has managed to get all these problems under control, apart from the regular upgrades that are expected as a new season comes around. When asked by motorsport.com about whether he felt confident in the car after simulator testing, he said, "It's impossible at this time of year to be anything other than apprehensive, coupled with excited, coupled with frightened. Those are always the emotions that you feel, and I would imagine that even in Red Bull, after a year of such good performance, they will not be sleeping easy in their beds either, because no one knows what everyone else will deliver." However, what we do have some hope for is that some of the more spiteful characteristics of the rear end of our car will be a bit more friendly to us, and the handling of the car a happier thing. That's all in simulation, but nevertheless, we've got reasonable grounds to believe that we've made some gain there. He also mentioned that the team has been able to get the car to produce more downforce, get more power from the engine, and has reduced the overall weight of the car. On top of that, handling, you've got all the normal housekeeping type stuff of just making it lighter, making it more downforcey, and hopefully getting a bit of uplift from the power unit side, with the calibration level tinkering that they're still capable of doing under these current rules, he said. Whether it's enough, time will tell, but it's nevertheless going to be interesting because we saw some things we knew were problems. We have hypothesized what the reason for those problems were, and we fixed those reasons. It will be interesting to find out how accurate we've been with that diagnosis. It will be interesting to see whether Mercedes has been able to fix the problems the W14 was having and whether they have actually closed the gap to Red Bull. At the start of the 2023 season, Mercedes was way off the pace and slower than Ferrari and Aston Martin. But as the season went on, their car improved, with the most significant upgrade coming from the removal of the zero-pod design, which was replaced by more regular-looking side pods. They managed to make the car quicker than Ferrari and Aston Martin and were right alongside McLaren for the latter half of the season. They managed to take second place in the Constructors, and their progress over the season was remarkable. But in the end, the car they had to start with had too many issues, and hence they were still much slower than Red Bull. The drivers also must be commended here, as they were able to give such consistent results with such an unpredictable car, especially Lewis Hamilton, who was almost able to get twin place in the Drivers' Championship as well. But now that they have been able to get a fresh start, it is possible that the W15 is going to deliver what the last two cars promised. It is clear now that Red Bull is not going to get slower anytime soon, and the best bet any team now has is to improve their own car. Team principal Toto Wolff also revealed some information regarding the car in an interview, though he was cautious not to say too much and chose not to be too optimistic. He said he got a good response from simulator driver Anthony Davidson regarding the car. He was driving Melbourne in the sim, and he said, "The car feels like a car for the first time in 2 years." We will have to see whether the W15 can finally put Mercedes at the top and maybe give Hamilton a chance to fight for the championship again. The British driver is in his last season with the Silver Arrows, and it is widely speculated that his reason for leaving the team is due to the way the previous two cars drove. He only has a few more years left in the sport to chase his 8th title, and it will be a fantastic send-off if Mercedes are able to provide him with a championship-winning car. Hopefully, all the hype being built around the car does not disappoint fans, who are eagerly waiting for the launch and pre-season testing. Comments from Toto Wolff and James Allison hint that the car is heading in the right direction, and with this being Hamilton's last season in the team, he deserves a car that he at least believes is drivable. All will be revealed through in the next few weeks, and we will be covering all Formula One news on this channel. If you want to know more about Mercedes, subscribe to this channel and watch our previous videos which cover all that has been happening in the sport recently.